Hey everybody, it's Bronco from Apex Vaulting. Sorry about the last couple weeks. It's been so hectic with states and life in general. I haven't posted a video in a little while, but I have lots of ideas for videos in the next few weeks. I'm going to be putting them out. This will be the first one. Something that I noticed as I went through states and I go through this time period of spring track, or even when it's the championship part of the season for indoor track, I notice a trend. And the title of this video, if you saw, cramming for exams doesn't work, cramming for pole vault doesn't work, and cramming in life doesn't work. I feel like every year as we get close to the championship season, and this is not just from my perspective, other club coaches, even talking to high school coaches, all of a sudden we're getting close to states and athletes really want to focus. That now they don't want to skip a practice. They want to put some extra time in the weight room. They want to do some more jumping, some more drills. Club coaches like myself, we're all of a sudden our phones going off and people want to get in a last minute session before states. And just like the student that tries to cram before finals, that never works out well. Never. If you haven't been doing your homework, if you haven't been reading the chapters in your textbook, if you haven't been on top of projects and assignments and papers, if you haven't asked your teacher for clarification, you can't just study the week of finals and hope to cram a marking period worth, a year's worth of studying in 1 week, in 2 weeks. It just won't work out for you. You're gonna overload yourself, kind of burn yourself out overstudying, and you know what? You're probably gonna end up, honestly, with a grade that's worse than if you just kind of chilled out and took the exam. The same thing happens in the pole vault. You get these athletes that they haven't worked on their jump. They might be struggling with their takeoff, or, especially at the high school level with a lot of these athletes, you're struggling adding a turn. Coming in for a practice or two before your state meet is not going to fix your jump. And as I always talk with a lot of these other club coaches or experienced coaches, honestly, I think for me, and I think the coaches that I'm thinking of would agree, we do more harm than good. If now I introduce a new drill or a new technique to you the week of states, 2 weeks before states even, now you're thinking, you're trying to figure something out, you're going to go in worse off. You're going to be trying to change and manipulate your jump, and you're going to jump worse. And I think just like in life, a lot of people tend to say the following to me. They're like, wow, Bronco, I work best under pressure. And here's the thing. You don't work best under pressure. You only work when there's pressure. And if you really want to be highly successful in the vault, and if you really want to be highly successful in life, you have to figure out how to put the work in when there is no pressure. When it's summertime, when it's fall, when you don't have a meet coming up, you don't have counties, the team isn't depending on you to score points, you don't have a scholarship riding on this. That's when you have to learn how to put the work in. If you only put the work in pressure situations, you're not going to be happy with the results. I see this over and over and over again. I remember at our state championship talking to a couple of my athletes, and I was talking about my frustration, and I made the mistake of thinking like maybe now it's worse. Maybe, I don't know. Everybody always thinks now it's worse, but I was talking about how difficult I find it to get people to want to commit and train 2-3 days a week in the vault, physically also training with lifting and sprinting year round. And shocker, my best athletes train year round, multiple times a week. They do strength and conditioning. My best athletes are not the people that come in seasonally. They're not the people that try to get a couple practices in before the state meet. Those are not my best athletes. That is so rare. I mean, unless, if we're thinking specifically about track and field, unless you're dealing with a multi-athlete that is highly talented, sure, they can come in, get a couple tune-up practices, and they'll do a little bit better in the vault because it's not even their main concern, and they're so physically talented. If you improve one little thing, they're going to get a huge boost in performance. Most people are not in that case. They've been vaulting indoors, they've been vaulting outdoors, they are pole vaulters, and if they're not consistently training, nothing's going to happen. This is where you see people just year after year after year. It's like no change, no technical improvements, no physical improvements, and the PR just stagnates. Obviously, at the high school level, everybody's going to experience beginner gains. You're going to set a PR. You're going to go from 0 to 9 or 0 to 12 pretty quickly. But now what's going to take you, forward takes consistent effort over time. It's not going to happen the week of. It's too late. I remember years ago when I was coaching Division III at Ramapo College, one of my male vaulters, whose PR was 15.5, he came up to me after our team meeting, because every year, the week of conference, indoors and outdoors, we'd have a big team meeting that was one of these kind of rah-rah, pump you up meetings. And I was so proud because my athlete came up to me and he said, Bronco, I don't really see the point of these meetings. If you put the work in, there's nothing to be nervous about. You're ready for this meet. And if you haven't, there's nothing you could do this week to be ready for conference. And he was right, 100%. I was so proud of him because he was getting it. So I guess with this video, one, if you're a coach, please try to remind your athletes, if they want to have a highly successful year next year, if they want to be highly successful in life, they can't just work under pressure. They have to figure out how to put the work in when there is no pressure, when there is no meet, when there is no deadline. And if you're an athlete listening to this and you want to have a great year next year, start now. Start in the summer. Start tilling the field. Start planting those seeds of success. Start breaking down your jump. Do the drills you don't like. Do the workouts you don't like. Start now so that this time next year, you won't be that person that's cramming for finals, that's cramming for states. I guess that's all I have for you this week. Have a good week, everybody.